Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking out another episode of Kenny's Record Collection. It's been a long time, I know. It's been a few months, I think, since my last video. I kind of ran out of ideas and I just wasn't inspired anymore, but I had the idea to do my Black Sabbath collection, which is really where it all started for me. Sabbath was probably the first band I ever heard as a kid. I had a neighbor who lived up the block from me. We used to collect comic books together. He was an older kid, probably 3 years older than me. And he had an older brother. So his older brother must have been into Sabbath since the 70s. And he gifted some of his old t-shirts to his younger brother. And I remember this kid, Nicky, he always had on a Black Sabbath Born Again t-shirt. The Born Again tour. Such a sick shirt to look back on it now, and seeing that as a little kid always blew my mind, seeing this demon baby across a t-shirt. It was one of the coolest things ever. Anyway, so we would hang out at his house looking at comic books and stuff, and he would play me Black Sabbath Live Evil, which was the live album with Dio. So sick. And I was a young, impressionable kid. I had no idea. All I knew was I love comic books, and there was a song called Iron Man. Of course, it's not about the superhero, but it just, it resonated with me. Anyway, so a few years later, I started collecting records, cassettes, whatever. And Black Sabbath was one of the earliest bands that I started to listen to. A good friend of mine, also named Kenny, we used to collect the tapes together. So I had a few of the tapes, he had a few of the tapes, so together we had all the Ozzy Black Sabbath albums. And that was back when you could get the tapes in the budget bin at the record store. All right, so here we go. Here's my Black Sabbath collection. The album that started it all, Black Sabbath, with the track Black Sabbath. Look at that cover. It's just so trippy and so not trippy at the same time. It's all a matter of how you think about it. It could just be a woman standing there, in front of a house. It's all what goes through your head when you look at it. Could be a witch, could be some kind of possessed woman. You don't know. It's all up to your imagination. This is the original Warner Brothers pressing. The tracks are slightly different than later. I mean, an expert could tell you exactly the differences. I'm not sure. I'm not that good with it. This was the inner sleeve, or one of the inner sleeves that it came with. It's on that olive green label. Very cool. I actually have 2 copies of this. I'll show you the second one. Here's another one. Not in as good condition. It's got a little tear on it. But I mean, look at that cover. I mean, you cannot deny how cool it is. And just the colors. So sick. Back cover. Same cover as far as I know. This one came with a different inner sleeve. Warner Brothers inner. The Lost Leaders. Same olive green label. When I had this as a kid originally, I believe my version had that white Warner Brothers label with the multiple Warner Brothers logos splashed across it. All right, now let's get into Paranoid. This is the version I must have bought at a used record store, when I was like 13, 14. This is on the label NEMS, which was a European label. I'm not sure what country they were specific to. I know Vertigo is the sought-after version of a lot of the early Sabbath records because it has that cool Vertigo swirl. And those are considered the true first pressings. Oh. All right. I didn't even realize this was in here. Here's a Warner Brothers version of Paranoid. This is that later label with the Warner Brothers all over it. This is probably like a third pressing. I don't even know what that's doing in there. I didn't have a cover for it. So yeah, great gatefold with the guys just standing, you know, in a field. Got your track listing. I mean, if anybody ever wants to sell me their Vertigo copies of this, please, by all means. This record is pretty trashed. Luckily, it's not, you know, a valuable record. It's valuable to me because, you know, this was one of my most influential records. I mean, look at that cover. I mean, I believe that when they took the photo, they were trying to say it's for War Pigs, I believe, because the guy's some kind of like warrior guy. I don't know, but he does look paranoid too. If you look at his face, like he's kind of jumping out for no reason, like he's scared, he's in the woods. The back cover, just trippy. I love their use of purples and pinks. Really, really cool. This I've also had for a million years. I think I got this when I was like 13 or 14. Picture disc. This was, I believe, on NEMS also. This picture disc. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. You know, you don't really listen to a picture disc because it sounds like shite. Excuse me. But, you know, still really cool to have. You could tell I've had it forever. It's just been crammed in. Now this I got fairly recently. This is a first pressing, Warner Brothers pressing, Paranoid in the shrink. I was lucky enough to be able to purchase some records from a really great person, and he took care of his stuff like you would not believe. So this, you know, this is a 50-year-old record. Still looks brand new. Original Warner Brothers pressing in the shrink. Let me see if I could. I mean, this record is so clean. All right, I can't even get it out. It's in there good. Oh, I'm an idiot. I got it right here. It wasn't in there. It was under it. I put it in this MoFi sleeve. I mean, I like to take care of my really cherished records. See that original olive green label. Beautiful. Again, the Vertigo, you know, the Vertigos are like the most desirable, but you see the olive green, you know, it's a first pressing of the early Sabbath records. After that, they started using that, a Sunset Boulevard label or whatever it is, where it looks like Hollywood. You know, you see there's like palm trees and stuff. So yeah, this is the first label. Really just amazing. Now, the next album, oh my God, Master of Reality. Can you imagine how great this record is? This is also a first pressing, and it's got the embossed Master of Reality. Most of the time when you see these, they're trashed because of the embossed lettering, meaning it sticks out a little bit. So when it would be in somebody's record collection, it would constantly rub, and the colors would always get screwed up. I do have like 3 or 4 trashed copies of this somewhere. But once I got this one into my collection, you know, this is just premier. And you're going to ask, Kenny, does it have the poster? Why, yes, it does. This is actually the second time I was able to get a copy of this with the poster. The original version that I had it framed. And of course, Murphy's Law, the frame fell off the wall and the glass broke. And the glass broke through the poster, totally ripping the poster. So look at this amazing image. How cool is that? You know, they're just hanging out in the woods. Perfect place to listen to Black Sabbath. That was probably one of the earlier places where I would listen to Black Sabbath as a young kid. We used to take a boombox and hang out in the park, hang out in the woods. This place called Dead Man's Hill. So yeah, we like to add to the mood when we listen to our music. So there's that. Again, this is just such good condition. I you know, I'm honored to own this. Again, it's not really the rarest record, but in this condition, I would say it's really rare. Moving right along, okay? Volume 4. Original Warner Brothers pressing in the shrink with this factory sealed for your protection sticker on it. I mean, how cool is that? This also has some price code for whatever store it was purchased at. Amazing condition. This is another record that is always trashed, and it's gatefold. It has a fold-out little poster booklet with it. It's still intact. I'm not going to take this out of the shrink. I do have another version of this that's really beat up. Again, I don't know where it is right now because it's not, I don't keep it in with my good records. Let's go. Here we go. Original olive green, Warner Brothers label. Can't get enough of this. Love it. Just the condition is really, you see these a lot, but they're always trashed because this, if you were into this record back in the days, you were playing it and you were enjoying your life while you had it on. All right. All right, this was volume 4. Anyway, same thing. Olive green. Okay. Now, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. This album is insane. If you don't know this record, please listen to it right now. This version has a writing on it. It says H-I-R-O, okay? And there's some other writing on it. It's hard to tell. But this version is special. Look at that logo, Vertigo, okay? Sick, gatefold. Like the guys in the band are like in that room with the possessed guy. I think the point of this artwork is basically like as you're dying, there's a battle between heaven and hell. So you have angels and demons like battling for your soul. So yeah, sick. Very cool. Now, unfortunately, by this point, Vertigo was not using that whole label that said, you know, with the logo on it. This was their, you know, mid-70s or whatever logo. You see the Vertigo on it, but... And it also does not have the OBI or the OB, which people go crazy for those strips. This does not have the OB, but it's still really cool. It's a great pressing, really clean pressing. Moving right along. This is a 2000s pressing of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. You know, again, this is on NEMS. Not the greatest. I mean, it's cool, like a player copy. Blah, blah, blah. No big deal. This is like a live album, Black Sabbath, Live at Last. This was during, I guess, I don't know, the Volume 4 era, I guess. I don't know much about it. I mean, it's not the greatest live album. It's a very common record. You find it a lot, you know, when you're hunting. Made in Holland. There's a label on that side. Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about it, where the concert was recorded. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. This is another one that is very influential to a lot of people. You know, if you weren't like a big collector, you would grab this record because it had most of the real Sabbath bangers on it. This is like a compilation album. Real trippy inside cover. I don't know what like album this artwork would have been associated with. I guess they took this photo for this compilation. I'm not totally sure, but I'm assuming they put this out after Ozzy left, but I don't know. This version is probably a early 80s. Yeah, because it's got that Warner Brothers all over print logo. All right, we're coming down to the end. All right, I gotta move this along. Sabotage. This was like, you know, when they were starting to fall off a little bit. I mean, this is a good album. Don't get me wrong, but they were kind of starting to split apart at this point. It's got some great songs on it. Holy cow! Symptom of the Universe, Hole in the Sky, Super Czar, Am I Going Insane? I mean, great album. And look at that cover. How trippy is that? They're standing in front of a mirror, but the reflections are reversed. Same with the back cover. Really sick. And their outfits, I mean, if those outfits don't scream cocaine, I don't know what does. Oh yeah, and going back, I think volume 4, they thank cocaine on the actual liner notes. They say thanks to Coke hyphen a cola, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Coming down to the end. Technical Ecstasy. This is, you know, first pressing of it. Not that this album is that desirable. It's in the shrink. Cool liner inside. Nobody really cares about this album. And this is the that Warner Brothers label, the other label I was telling you about. It's like Sunset Boulevard or whatever it's called label. I don't know, whatever. All right. Almost there. Now, Never Say Die. I mean, this, not a great record, but I mean, the track Never Say Die is a really, really, really powerful song. Really great song. If you ever want to get like, you know, motivated to do something or psyched, you want to like land a skate trick, you put this on and it'll influence you. So it's, you know, it's a lot to be said for it. This isn't even a first pressing, which is pretty sad. I think this is like a really cool artwork, the diagram of the equipment. This is like a mid-80s, 83, 84 pressing. Whatever. So yeah, that's it. That's my blacks. Oh, I've shown this before, but it's classic. I call this like just like a prop. This is volume 4, but if you notice, it doesn't say volume 4 on it. It says Super Edition. And the tracks, hard to read from your perspective, I'm sure, and even harder for me because I don't have my glasses. The tracks are not right. It's got fairies wear boots on it. You know, like it's just off. It's a Middle Eastern bootleg, I think. And from my research, I mean, I've determined that these were like sold to like military people and, you know, people overseas who were there, you know. And it's pretty funny. I like this quirky stuff. If I see anything like, oh, and it also says Sabbath Black. Crazy. So yeah, that's it. Cheers everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do some more videos. I just need ideas, you know. I'm running out of ideas. I got so many records, but it's hard to create an entire episode. So yeah, if you got any ideas for me, hit me up, let me know, you know. And it's great talking to you guys. If you could subscribe, if you're still watching, please like, comment, Tell them you hate this. Tell them you love it. Just tell me something, all right? Let me know that this is, I'm doing this for a reason, Cheers. See ya.